Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, August 9th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread for today? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are the Death card in its reversal and the Eight of Wands in its upright. So let's talk about why the thing about an Aquarian full moon happening with these many planets in retrograde is it can feel very, I just want to say it can feel very chaotic. Okay. Because what we're effectively identifying is everything in relationality to the retrogrades feels like it's putting pressure on things that we feel energetically vulnerable about, right? A lot of these planets are retrograding right now in Aries. So this could be speaking or working upon the feeling of energetic frustration. If you say to me that you feel like your fuse is much shorter than it typically is, welcome to the vibe right now, because that's effectively what we're seeing. We're also recognizing, one of the things that we often recognize and identify that we experience when we're going through Aquarian full moon cycles is that Aquarian energy, much like Virgo energy, likes to work into the space of ideal. So I want you to imagine that we've got this very, very dreamy full moon that's happening right now that almost asks us to see ideals in the moment that it feels like everything is energetically not moving in an ideal direction. So I'm going to give you a few of the messages that are important to remember as we're navigating through energy like this. One, first and foremost, right? One of the big things that we see that we often have to articulate upon to those with Aquarian and Virgo placements. It's not about things being ideal. Ideal is not what we arrive to. Ideal is what we make in less than ideal circumstances, right? That is what we do. That is how we achieve our ideals. And so, one of the things I see right now that is potentially occurring is working through the pathwork of energetic frustration, getting very frustrated about something. And often when we feel really frustrated, right, that inclination is there that allows for that space of wanting to overly internalize something. But that's why the way to effectively work through this energy is perspective, 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 because we often see this in full moon, in Aquarian cycles, that when we're able to step back, and I keep on getting the difference between disassociating, which is what you have to be conscientious and careful of with energy like this, the difference between disassociating and not allowing the self to be overly invested in one's own frustration, right? There's a difference there. And what is the energetic difference that we see? The ability to navigate frustration with a sense of perspective, right? Because often, and that's the problem with frustration, right? When we're working through frustration, it feels very much like the inclination is always there to want to project that frustration out, not just around us, to anyone, to anybody, you know what I mean? To anybody, who you got? You want some frustration? Would you like some of this frustration? But that's why when we're able to work through frustration, but allow it to give us perspective, what's on the other side of that? Epiphanies, breakthroughs, right? Moments of energetic clarity that help us understand what it is that we can do in a better way, right? It's working through and facilitating upon bigger processes. I'm going to put money on the fact that we're going to see the Wheel of Fortune coming out in this spread today, because typically when I see energy like this, do you see this type of energy right here? These two cards together, no. Because but here's the thing about it. It's identifying what's not working, right? That is what we see. But what's the beauty to be found when we're working on identifying what's not working? Can I get one card to clarify, please? clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Swords in its reversal. When we identify what's not working, a solution presents itself, right? It's the observation of mutual effort that allows us to be able to recognize and identify what we can be doing energetically better. And so we see like, and that is why I keep on saying that that Mercury energy, like the Mercury retrograde that is retrograding right now in Leo, right? Like I like to describe like the vision I have with a lot of this energy, like working through this is like you've got all these planets like banging away in Aries, like this isn't working, you know? And then you've got Mercury just sitting there and going, have you tried putting a little compassion there? Have you tried putting a little compassion? Have you tried putting a little compassion to the self? Have you tried putting a little compassion to the situation? Have you tried putting a little bit of the energy of the compassion? And we don't like that because you have to understand that when like you're working in the context of that and you're feeling all of that frustration, right? You're feeling all of that frustration. You don't want to let the compassion in, right? Because it's almost like the indulgent, and that's the thing we have to be conscientious about with energy like this. It's sometimes it feels good to be frustrated because like when we start to allow compassion in, we allow the observation of being able to articulate upon the things that we care about. And so that's what I keep on seeing is happening right now. Especially it's having a big impact right now for energy. I keep on seeing energy across the frequencies, but most significantly and most importantly, for a lot of this energy and separation. And why am I seeing so much of this potential frustration that's occurring right now for some energy in separation? Because I keep on hearing like the same message that's coming through for energy in separation, which is the energy, like I keep on hearing like these new relationships that are forming and someone's saying, time doesn't fix things, time creates pining, right? Like the observation of being able, like I either see new relationships that are forming right now, wherein there is clarity about the fact that there's potentially something that they could energetically go back to that wasn't necessarily healthy for them. But the observation that the quality of creating a situation, like we don't fix things by trying to get each other to miss one another, right? Because that is often the space where it like allows the context where we try to allow for the space of missing something is the opposite of energetically building upon standards. So that's why I keep on hearing like what is happening right now for a lot of those relationships in separation that are building into new partnerships. They're talking about situations where they may even feel the frustration in another person, building into the expectation of another person not having a standard. And so that's why I keep on hearing the energy that's like, why are they, when they're coming together? Remember when I said that these relationships are being fortified by the mutual audacity? What are they saying to one another? You have a right to feel that way. Right? The observation in being able to articulate and identify and helping each other feel validated in relationality to how they perceive something or what they energetically carry. Right? And that's what I keep on seeing that's helpful right now, because what's beautiful for some of these relationships and situations is I almost see the energy looking at each other and saying to one another, am I missing something? Right? Like the observation of almost looking to another person and say, like, tell me if my perspective on something is flawed. And this is the energy that looks towards one another and they say, I would if I could. But your ability, like, and I told you, remember, these are the energies that value each other because they trust each other's direction sense, which is the space by which we are able to espouse and recognize another's gift of good judgment. And so that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships that are potentially coming together at this time, that feeling of being energetically supported, I keep on feeling like the energy that feels reaffirmed. This is almost I keep on hearing the energy is building into a deeper connection. but it's almost like I keep on seeing it's like this is this is the energy that we would identify that is the articulation point of energy that's starting to heal together, right? And for a lot of the energy right now moving deeper into divine union, can I get two cards to clarify? Temperance card in its reversal and that Emperor energy in its reversal. Remember how I said that for some of the energy right now that's moving deeper into divine union, like every time I read into this energy right now, I'm getting a lot of this "what are we waiting for" kind of energy. There's almost like a giddiness that I'm identifying in some of these relationships that are coming together right now, because I keep on getting the identification point of moving something deeper into partnership. It doesn't feel like it's doing so to change something. It's like the energy that says it's just articulating and announcing what is there is what I keep on seeing. And it's almost like a lot of the energy that's like I keep on seeing. Remember when I said that there's almost like this quality of I want to say like it's almost like feeling like almost like a playful teasing in a way. But remember how I said that it's because for a lot of the energy right now, healing from frustrating circumstances is occurring. What's happening right now that I may feel is a little bit bittersweet for energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now is the observation or recognition of the fact that I keep on hearing the reason that they're teasing each other with partnership. I keep on getting they're working through the lesson. We can tease each other with things we are committed on giving each other, right? We can tease each other with things that we're committed to give each other. And as they tease each other with things that they're committed to give each other, they're healing from situations where another person dangled a possibility or dangled an opportunity, right? And that's what I keep on seeing is allowing for a lot of that. I keep on getting like a lot of that energetic strengthening that is happening in those modalities, because I can see the energy almost going through flashbacks as they're teasing each other with the promised commitment that they know that they're going to give one another. And almost like I keep on getting like they're getting chills to a certain extent. Like I keep on being like, I see the energy like almost being like, oh, because they're expelling the memory of those experiences or those moments in the past where another person wasn't teasing with something that they were excited or giddy to give them, but instead dangling something to almost articulate or try to create a space of another or creating a wound in the process, right? Because when we dangle things, we try to create wounds. But when we tease, then we tease because it's exciting, because we know that we're building that sense of energetic expectation. So I almost feel like I keep on seeing like there's a lot of that, I want to describe it. I'm trying to find the word for it. There's not a word for it. It's like the word I want to say is the chirality of it, but it doesn't know if it, I need to confirm if it fits, but it's the observation of something that seems, okay. And the reason I'm saying chirality is it's the observation of something that seems similar to something that we already went through, but experiencing it in a vastly different context. And often that is the modality by which we heal an abandonment wound, because we're able to recognize and identify the nuanced difference. For a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, clarification between our death card in its reversal in combination with our 8 of Wands in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? There's that 5 of Wands in its reversal. I'm going to tell you right now, I see new relationships that are coming together right now. I see modalities, and I'm going to tell you right now, I see 2 different modalities that are potentially occurring. For energy in separation, it's working. I keep on hearing the right to be frustrated is what I keep on getting. The right to be energetically frustrated, because I keep on seeing pining does not solve things. Pining is not progress, which is the space by which I keep on hearing when we are in energetic separation, there is usually a reason, right? And often separation occurs in the context of healing from working towards unified manifestation goals. Now, you'll recall that for a lot of this energy and separation, it was working through the energetic frustration of what may have been articulated or identified as another person, not necessarily. And I have to say this, some of those separations were occurring at the same time as those magician partnerships were moving deeper into divine union. So, and you have to understand and recognize that for often we see that the lessons are moving through. And so for a lot of the energy, the qualifier or the identifier of recognizing that we don't try to change energy to be in alignment to our manifestation goals, right? You'll remember that this is the work that we see that the energy moving deeper into divine union is working on. It's the observation that in a healthy relationship, we don't put the potential in the power of the partner, but in the power of the direction that the relationship can go in. So if these were modalities where someone was trying to articulate upon a manifestation, but it was conditional upon an energetic change within another, you can see and understand why, if these are situations where the past is reemerging or coming back, right? I keep on hearing that the space by which the space by which we'll do anything is no foundation for a healthy relationship. That is literally what we see that a lot of the energy right now in separation is working through. Right? The space by which another person tries to create the modality of saying, I'll do anything, is no foundation upon which to build a healthy partnership. And I either see this energy articulating that in separation to energy potentially coming back towards them, not in the context of actually trying to heal, but being like, are you ready yet? You know what I mean? Like, are you ready yet? Right? Like Saturn and Neptune retrograding. Or these are relationships that are forming right now, talking to each other about conditions such as those that another individual was trying to create within the context of a relationship and trying to articulate that that was healthy. And that's why I keep on hearing a lot of those new relationships to form. Like, what are the sounds of the church bells ringing for a lot of those relationships? You have a right to be upset. You have a right to be upset, right? The cling clang of a mutual audacity that is shared, that allows the context of the energetic celebration of feeling that energetic connection point in being able to feel unified in terms of something that you see that is not energetically okay. Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Wands in its upright in combination with our Knight of Swords. Can I get one in its reversal? Can I get one card to clarify? There's that Knight of Cups in its upright. Oh, so what are we seeing right now with these cards are out now too. Okay, these are the next cards. Let me just put those there. Oh, this is so fascinating. Wait till you see what just happened. Wait till you see what just happened. Oh my gosh. Okay, nope, that makes so much sense. Okay, so clarification right now between, one moment please, clarification between our Eight of Wands in its upright in combination with our Knight of Swords in its reversal. We had the Knight of Cups. And remember when I said I would not be surprised right now if this is a vibration where we may be seeing some like surprise proposal. Like I keep on getting like surprise, but it's a positive surprise. And the thing I keep on seeing is I'm recognizing and identifying that for a lot of these relationships that are coming into partnership, like the magician partnerships that are moving deeper into divine union right now, like I keep on getting the same message. Like, look at this. Like these are the energies that are they're healing their ability to tease upon something because they're recognizing and identifying the difference between teasing and dangling, right? What is the difference between teasing and dangling? Teasing is the space by which we tease, because we tease upon something that we feel confident that we're going to give another person, right? Like the playfulness that we create in I keep on hearing like the energy saying as if I wasn't going to give that to you, right? Like it's almost like that type of energy. And that's what I meant about utilizing the word chirality, because I feel like I keep on getting that from some of this energy right now that is experiencing this as they're moving deeper into divine union. The chirality of experiencing a situation where another person said that, but didn't say it in a pleasant fashion, almost said it in the way of saying, you're never going to get something from me if you act this way. You know what I mean? Like almost like the energy that was articulating upon moving towards a manifestation goal in a, like almost like the game of keep away, right? Like someone saying like, now you'll never get that from me. That's what I meant in relationality to something healing in a profound way, because it's the observation that it's playful when we always expect to give something to another, and it's wounding when we hold something away from someone and say behave or like change or else, you know, like there's a lot of that type of energy here. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Swords in its reversal. And that's what I meant about this like moon being like, you know what I mean? Like that, I'm telling you, continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Swords and its reversal in combination with our Temperance in its reversal for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. We've got here the Eight of Swords in its Eight of Wands in its transverse, and the Six of Cups in its transverse. Now, this is why I said something very interesting came up, because you may notice that we already have an Eight of Wands on the table. We've already got an Eight of Wands on the table. You may notice that I often work through, I've got two different decks here, right? When I'm bringing in a new deck, when my old deck gets a little long in the tooth, I bring in a new deck that I start to work with. So I've been doing that, and accidentally the Eight of Wands from the old deck managed to get into this deck. So we actually have two Eight of Wands energies cards that are on in today's spread. Now, one of the things that we see here, and this is why I keep on identifying that for the energy deep within divine union, remember, this energy right now is the most frustrating. This energy right now, this is just to show you qualitatively, there is no better or worse place to be when you're working through the frequency cycles, because you see how there's a reaffirmation of direction that's happening right now for energy and separation and energy coming into divine union as it relates to being able to see like the frustration that is shared by others. I keep on hearing mutual frustration articulates correct direction. Is what I keep on hearing. Mutual frustration articulates correct direction. So you'll understand like that is the unifying energy that's happening right now for energy and separation and energy moving deeper into divine union. Because when we're able to articulate upon something that you're frustrated on, and then you say, am I seeing something wrong? And another person says, no. Like you're like, that makes, no, you're, you know, like the observation of what you're frustrated on is correct. Then it's not easy, right? It doesn't make the frustration go away, but it makes you feel fortified, right? It makes, I mean, like it's like, and this is what we talk about with a healthy healing journey, right? It's not indulgent. It's not like it's like, it'll annoy you. It'll just annoy you. It'll really annoy you. But and that's what I keep on seeing, that for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, right? And so that's why I keep on hearing like the directions, like this is the energy and separation and moving into divine union. It feels like it's fortifying. It's seeing something frustrating, but even still fortifies that you're moving in the right energetic direction, right? Sometimes you see something frustrating, you're like, yeah, that doesn't fix it. This makes it worse. But when you're deep within divine union, right? Like when you're deep within divine union, I don't know where, it's like you just have this frustration and you don't have anywhere to put it. It's like, I feel like that's the problem with the energy in divine union. They're not going to move deeper into divine union and win it. So I feel like the energy is just like sitting there with one another being like, what do I do with all this frustration? I don't, I don't have, we don't have enough room for it. I just don't know where to put it. So what are they doing? They're taking a creative approach to it, right? They're allowing the context of experiencing frustration to allow, I keep on hearing unorthodox approaches to old frustrations. Being able, I keep on hearing when we and this is why I keep on hearing, like, this is why we often unpack something from the past again, right? Because when we're in a healthy space, we unpack something from the past to make sure that we were looking at it appropriately. Like, that's what's healthy about it. And so that's what I keep on hearing that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union. They're doing a bit of healthy unpacking, right? They're looking at past frustration to make sure that their gaze is energetically fortified in relationality to something that they like. It's feeling to me like a little bit of that inner child healing, right? Because this is what we do when we're doing inner child healing. We bring something back to the present to be able to see something, to see if we still feel the same way about it, right? Like, did I like, I see that a lot of that, and I feel like that may be a lot of the energy, like talking towards, like working through things that they're recognizing and identifying potentially in frustrating energetic connections. Because that's the thing I keep on seeing with, like, the Eight of Wands with the Six of Cups and its transverse. Continuing to get and again, putting a little bit of compassion there, continuing to get clarification between our Temperance card and our Emperor card in its reversal. Can I please get one card to clarify? Clarification with our Star card and its reversal. And if that looks familiar, you will recall that we saw that Star card in its reversal yesterday. We actually ended our reading with the card yesterday, in the same exact position. So, and I'm going to just tell you right now, like, look at these two together. We've got the Emperor, and this is the one, listen, this is the one thing I'm going to tell you right now. It feels like, I'm just going to tell you right now, this is a type of energy. I want you to assume everybody feels like they're out of spoons. Okay. I just want you to assume everybody feels like they're out of spoons right now. Okay. But I need to kind of, and I feel like, and that's why I keep on seeing that when we are energetically compassionate and we give each other the benefit of the doubt, then I keep on hearing, this is absolutely, please, please, please listen to me. When I say this is not the time to be assuming anything about anyone's intentions, okay? I don't want, like, don't come to me for a reading and say, well, I just assume, I'm going to be like, did you do what I told you not to do? Did you do what I told you not to do? Did you take a moment where a bunch of planets were in retrograde and you were already feeling vulnerable, and then you saw somebody else who was already in a vulnerable place, but then you thought that it was projected towards you instead of allowing the compassion in to say maybe they're feeling exactly the same way that you are? I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to help you. All right? Because when we're in that space, we work towards the ability of not overreading into things. And I got to tell you right now, that's the problem. Like, that's a little bit of the issue that we sometimes have. You Aquarians, I'm looking at you. The mind is a playground. Okay? Like, the mind is a playground. But the thing is, and I just got to stress this right now, and that's what I meant about making sure that you're entering into this Aquarian full moon feeling very grounded. Because when the mind is a playground, when the mind is a playground and we're in an Aquarian full moon, it makes it really easy to like imagine things. And we've got a lot of planets that are retrograding. Don't assume the worst. Don't you dare say to me, well, something was happening and I just assumed the absolute worst and moved from there. Is what I keep on hearing, just moved from there. I allowed my actions to guide me, taking the worst assumption instead of the best approach. Do not come out of this energy telling me, don't come to me for a reading and say, well, I didn't listen to your reading. I took the energy I was feeling and I allowed myself to be propelled on the worst assumption instead of the best approach. Okay. Don't let that happen right now. Okay. working through something. Okay, we are all, in the club, we are all going through this retrograde together. Okay, we are all working through it, and so that's what we keep on seeing that's happening right now for both masculine and feminine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Look at feminine right now. Struggling. This is struggling. That's a struggling feminine. That's a struggling feminine working to feel energetically vulnerable. This is a masculine that's also working through vulnerability. Okay, we got Jupiter right now. We got Jupiter and Venus. Okay, in Cancer, everybody's deep in their feels. Everybody's sensitive. Okay, everybody's feeling that like deep energetic sensitivity. And when we're feeling sensitive, what do we have to do? We have to protect. We have to be energetically mindful of being, I keep on hearing, we are the custodians of each other's sensitivities. And here's the thing that's important about that, okay? Being the custodians of each other's sensitivities is the observation, not that we have to navigate everybody's sensitivity, but the observation of understanding we honor our sensitivity by understanding what we are sensitive about. Because when we understand what we are sensitive about, we are able to articulate and identify and define upon it. We are able to be fortified in being able to talk about something that has energetic meaning to us. It allows the context by which we're able to have that. I keep on seeing this is energy right now, having hard conversations, potentially. I'm going to tell you right now, some of these new relationships right now, having hard conversations on what may have been previously triggering or sensitive topics. But this is why I keep on seeing that remember what I talked about? Remember what I talked about in relationality to these new relationships that are forming right now being temperance relationships, right? Not being afraid to plumb the depths of vulnerability, because when we are finding the bravery to plumb the depths of our own vulnerability, what do we find in the midst of it? We find pearls. We find the understanding. We find the energetic power of being able to do something in a way that we haven't before. And so that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, right? Potentially, I'll tell you right now, I can see some new relationships that are forming, and maybe even feeling that vulnerability point, potentially even identifying like their own energetic tendencies of what they do when they feel vulnerable, and what are they doing differently? Are they reacting to it, or are they articulating through it? Right? Because when we react to our vulnerability, then that's the modality by which we self-sabotage, by which we run away from the things that we energetically care about. But this is the energy, like, look at these energetic relationships here. They're healing, because not only are they recognizing what feel like energetically unhealthy patterns, but they're also able to identify and recognize what it is that they are trying to do in a better way. And that is the gift that these new relationships are giving to one another. They're talking to each other about those vulnerabilities and giving each other the benefit of the doubt, right? They're not allowing the past. And I feel like that's what's so difficult about this. And that's why I keep on hearing the energy potentially, like these new relationships that are forming right now. Why do I keep on hearing, the church bells that are occurring that say you have a right to be upset, which is the ability to talk to another person about why one feels triggered, right? To be able to talk about something that happened that left one extremely sensitive. And this is what I said, like in relationality to these partnerships that are coming together right now, that are working through like a lot of those spaces. And these are a lot of those relationships that I just see. They're helping each other along through some of those difficult journeys. This brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now. Clarification between our Five of Swords in its reversal, in combination with our Knight of Cups in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Two of Wands in its upright. So for a lot of the energy right now, moving deeper into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, this is why I keep on hearing there's something, there's a playfulness that is entering these relationships, because I can almost see like I keep on hearing like the playfulness is being able to kind of come back into a space where I keep on seeing and that's what I meant, like the space by which we are able to build a deeper level of intimacy by the ability to work through each other's vulnerabilities, but almost like the space by which we know the vulnerabilities and we're able to be energetically playful through them. Like this is what I meant about something around that playfulness being healing and reaffirming, because I keep on hearing I just keep on hearing that there's something that's happening right now for energy moving deeper into divine union, which is coming into a deeper level of healing by recognizing and understanding the difference between teasing and dangling, right? And because again, I keep on hearing the same message coming through that says we can tease upon things that we know to be true. We can tease upon things that we know are going to happen, right? And so that's what I meant about there's some kind of chirality event happening right now for some of the energy coming into divine union, because the observation of someone being playful, and I almost even get like a bit of a deja vu moment that may be happening where someone says like something in a playful way, because you can feel like their heart that is invested in it, because they know that they're going to energetically give it to you in the space in terms of potentially moving a relationship further into partnership or union. Like I almost see the energy like experiencing something, but then almost like shuddering at the thought or the memory of an experience where another person said something like that in a completely different context, right? Like the energy, the difference between someone saying like, you know, like if you're like now you'll never like now you'll never, right? The space by which another person almost tries to create a wound by showing a manifestation goal and holding it away from someone, trying to build into the context of changing another. And you'll remember that we talked about the fact that these are magician partnerships, so they're healing being in a relationship of allowing the self to be embraced in the authenticity. So this is why I see that for a lot of the energy working through that or going through those experiences, the memory, like I almost see like the memory of the difference between a manifestation goal that you're moving towards joyfully versus someone that was trying to make it energetically conditional and creating or engendering a change in you that felt like it was moving you away from your true sense of self. I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of profound healing that's happening in that way, but it's built upon and based upon the observation of the difference, that we can tease upon something and feel joy in it when we know it to be true, right? We tease upon things only in the fact that we know that they are unconditional. We don't, like teasing upon things that are conditional is cruelty, because that is the space by which we're trying to articulate a change in another by saying, I'm only going to move towards that manifestation conditional upon what it is that I see is comes out from you. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Cups in its upright in combination with our Six of Cups in its transverse with that Eight of Wands in its transverse. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Three of Wands in its reversal. A lot of wand energy in today's spread. Now, what do we see with all of that wand energy that we're seeing right now? I keep on, like, the thing I keep on seeing in relationality to the wand energy, and this has been coming out this entire retrograde, right? Which is the observation of recognizing we are healthy spiritually when it's not when we are able to identify the fact that we're energetically sensitive, but rather the observation in relationality to what we are sensitive about. It's being sensitive about something is not a reason to, because again, is not a reason. We do not honor each other's sensitivities by having to navigate them, but rather by being able to identify and recognize why the sensitivity is energetically important, is what I keep on seeing. Because when we are too sensitive upon something that is solely to the benefit of ourselves, that is fragility. When we are entirely sensitive on something that only serves the self, we are energetically fragile, because that is something that is coming from the space of trying to protect the egoic self. But when we are being sensitive of others, again, Mercury in Leo, the compassion that it takes to be able to recognize and identify the experience of another that we may not necessarily go through or understand, but that we hold in a space of honor. And again, it's interesting because as I said that, did you notice how my throat chakra closed up? It's the ability of effectively checking ourselves, right? And that's what we do in a healthy spiritual journey. We are perpetually checking ourselves, okay? This is the healthy spiritual journey where we are not indulgent. We're not looking for reasons to feel validated on something ridiculous that we think about or feel. We are constantly checking ourselves, because in the context of checking ourselves, that is how we love more effectively. The ability to love is a perpetual act of checking the self to make sure that you're not being indulgent in terms of what another person is receiving from you. And we're not perfect in that. We always mess up. We always mess up. Right? And that's why apologies are important, right? Because sometimes, even in the space that we energetically overstep, our apology is the accountability and being able to articulate something that we hope to achieve or do in a better fashion. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, doing this, like, this is what I mean about the complexity of some of these conversations that I'm seeing right now in relationality to working through and identifying how one can do something better. Because everything I keep on seeing that's occurring right now is the observation. It's more of the continuation of what we were seeing this entire time that we've seen, that Mercury has been moving through Leo, which is the observation of saying, okay, when we are feeling energetically sensitive, we don't make it another person's problem until we make it our own. We don't make it another person's problem until we make it our own. That's what accountability means, which is working through something we feel sensitive about to understand and define why. If it's something that we cannot articulate that's bothering us, that sometimes can be indicative of something that's an inside problem. But if there's something that another is doing that actually warrants that, right? Like, that's the ego that's doing its job. You know, like the ego being like, no, I'm not cool with that. I'm never going to be cool with that. That was really messed up, right? It's the ability. Usually we can tell, and this is why we should never be passive aggressive. Usually we can tell if it's something healthy, if we feel confident saying it out of our face. If you feel sensitive about something that you don't feel confident saying out of your face, then that usually is requiring a little bit of work within. And we all have those things. We're not like we all have them. We all have them, right? And it's okay to have them. But that's why we talk about the space of, again, being able to recognize and identify. And this is why I keep on seeing, this is why I keep on seeing, look at these relationships right now that are forming. Okay, this is how they feel, right? They're frustrated, right? These are relationships that are coming together right now, and they're talking about the reasons why something did not work in the past, right? It's there, and I feel like there's a lot of that clarity of perspective, and I almost see a lot of that energy like mourning. I keep on hearing the energy say, it's okay to mourn. It's okay to have feelings on things, right? Because this is a lot of the energy that is talking to each other about the difficulty and saying to another, yeah, this is where I keep on hearing that deep, profound healing and looking at a situation from the past and saying, ultimately, and I can almost hear this energy, like in the minute that they say this, ultimately we wanted different things. It just took time to recognize it, right? And that's why I keep on seeing. And that's why I keep on seeing that the energy is articulating to one another. I told you, these are temperance partnerships, mutual effort. And what are they promising and committing to each other? If there's something wrong, you'll tell me. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to build the context of making you feel that something is happening that is not. That clarity is an energetic honor. And when we care about each other, and I keep on hearing like Saturn and Neptune retrograding, it's the observation that when we honor each other, we honor the time that the way we honor the time that we share with each other is by making sure that we feel that it's moving in the same direction, right? It's not, I keep on hearing, it's not enough not just to want a bit of each other's time. We honor each other when we are attentive to what the direction of that time is and how we utilize it effectively. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of that, remember what I said, like a lot of that energy, like these are honorable, I keep on hearing these are honorable relationships because they're articulating upon the fact that the energy that they give each other is an honor. And for a lot of the energy and separation right now that is working through this, I can see some potential arguments that are potentially rising up as it relates to past situations. If these are experiences or circumstances where someone is coming back during this retrograde cycle and trying to be like, aren't you glad to see me? Another person saying like, what are you doing here? Right? Like the observation of understanding that time does not resolve things, being able to articulate upon what one is trying to do in a better fashion. So that's why I said this is some so some of the energy right now, building resolve and separation, being able to see something and saying like pining does not create progress, but the observation of another person saying if something hasn't changed, like your ability of not being like present is not going to increase the odds of a possibility of something coming back into a point of togetherness. That is acting and serving as a point of closure in some of those experiences. And I keep on seeing like a lot of that frustration articulated, but feeling the reaffirmation in the process. Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Wands in its transverse, our Six of Cups in its transverse, and our Star card in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? We've got here our Seven of Swords in its reversal. And this is what I meant. I keep on hearing the message coming through in relationality to understanding that for a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, that I keep on hearing that playfulness that they're able, like it's like a new level of playfulness that they're able to articulate upon one another because they know the energetic direction, right? And that's what I meant about some of that chirality that I was seeing in terms of being able to identify something that is occurring in the present relationship and seeing the difference between someone who is teasing something that they promised, right? It's the tease of a promise or the tease of the direction of something that feels like it is like the eagerness or the joy of it, right? It's like it's amplifying the anticipation versus those experience. I keep on hearing it's like in the same moment, a lot of those relationships are like I feel like they're almost like shuddering in that same moment in terms of another person that was articulating upon a manifestation goal, like a game of keep away, like almost holding something and saying like, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you'll never like say goodbye to this. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of that space of understanding that we don't put conditionality on manifestation goals because that's how we create wounds in each other. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy working through that, it's like I feel like that is the reaffirmation of the completion of a lot of that work. Because if there were experiences where energy moved away from something and they said, oh, if only I'd done a little bit more, it's the energy that's coming into the complete clarity of saying that when someone is saying this or else, there's usually nothing more you can do because they're building into a relationship where they're getting more for less, is what I keep on hearing. Continuing to get clarification between our Two of Wands in its upright in combination with our Three of Wands in its reversal. For the energy deep within divine union right now, there's that Magician in its reversal. So for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, I just keep on seeing that. How do I describe this best? For a lot of the energy, remember how you see how I keep on telling you guys that like for a lot of the energy right now that's either in separation or moving deeper into divine union, this frustration is actually like it's frustrating, but it's progressive because it's reaffirming the energetic direction. It's more frustrating right now for the energy deep within divine union. Because for the energy deep within divine union, it's not like it's fortifying the energetic direction that something is moving towards. Rather, it is working through the context of not being too hard on the self as one is progressing forward, right? Because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like working through this retrograde period, having those tendencies of getting too hard on the self, or having those tendencies in terms of identifying something that one could wish that one could do better. I keep on hearing that for a lot of the energy working through that, being able to take a new approach to an old problem, allowing again the Mercury retrograde, allowing some of that compassion in, it's giving me the identification point of understanding that when we are in a healthy space, we're always looking to build better, which is the observation that we don't get frustrated if things are not going the way that we anticipate. We articulate and define what it is that we're trying to do in a better fashion. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like this is the modality of becoming comprehensive, right? That when we're and I keep on getting like when we're overly focusing on something that's not working, there's that deep tendency of wanting to get really, really hard on ourselves. But that's why I keep on getting, if this energy right now is really getting to you, because I know it's not easy, I want you to remember to step back. Give yourself a gift of perspective, right? Because that's what happens, right? Compassion plus frustration equals perspective. Because the ability of feeling something and getting really, really upset and then just thinking about the bigger picture, right? Like that ability of like looking at something in a larger context, you know, I keep on seeing I keep on hearing, it doesn't make something go away, but it's you find strength in perspective. Because again, what does the Aquarius full moon tell us to do? To think wider, to think bigger than the problem. And when we think bigger than the problem, we build upon that larger perspective. Continuing to get clarification between our Two of Wands, our Three of Wands in its reversal, in combination with our Six of Swords in its reversal. We've got our High Priestess energy. I gotta tell you right now, guys, I just want to show you, okay? Now I gotta point out there's something very, very intriguing that's happening right now. For like even in this retrograde cycle, I've noticed the retrogrades, the energy is retrograding in pairs. Like the planets are retrograding right now in pairs, and it's really important to pay attention to it. Because what we're effectively seeing, all right, is we're working through, and this is what I mean. We've got Neptune and Saturn, right? We got Neptune and Saturn that are retrograding together right now. And that's like all working through the context of the past, right? That is like Saturn and Neptune are all the time energy, because Neptune is the memory bank and Saturn is time. Chiron and Eris are also retrograding together, which is again working through old wounds and feeling the energetic chaos that they sometimes make us feel within ourselves, right? I can't make that feeling go away, right? And then we've got Mercury that's retrograding, like, you know, all the way over in Leo. That's almost like acting as like an energetic beacon that says like, hey, have a little bit of compassion, allow for that observation and recognition of being able to find something that feels energetically right. And so I want to say, you know, what's interesting about it is, and we've also got the Pluto retrograde that's happening right now. And so for a lot of that is like working through something in the past that used to bother you, and also understanding, and this is like the gift that Saturn brings, that often the context of working through our fears. Like that's why I keep on describing the Pluto retrograde as being like almost like a haunted house in the summertime. It's like something that used to like would have like bothered you in the past, being like boo, and you're like, I don't have time for this. You know what I mean? Like I don't have time for this. I've got other things I need to be doing. It's the ability of understanding and making sure that we're grounded in terms of what it is that we're worrying upon, right? And I keep on hearing like the space by which we're doing, and I feel like this is so critical and important. And this is why we talk through navigating the significance and importance of working towards, like, working in the context of being able to see our own energetic fears, right? Because when we try to imagine, like when we try to articulate that we're perfect, then we often are not in the space that we're ready. Like, we don't allow the space of being able to encounter the things that we're energetically worried about, right? But when we're in a healthy space, we try to be observant of them, right? We try to notice the things that we could be doing better, because that's the context by which, like, that's where we put that force of effort. Like, that's where we want to direct that work. And so that's what I keep on seeing is happening right now across the frequencies in relationality to working through a lot of these temperance lessons. And you notice that we always see that there's a theme that's occurring, and it always starts with the energy and separation. The previous theme that we saw that was happening in a lot of those relationships was the magician partnerships, building into the authenticity of the self. But this is why we recognize it's not enough to be authentic. If you're authentic and you're authentically a jerk, that's not something to be, that's not something to be proud of, right? It's working through and understanding what it is that we're trying to do in a better way. It's working towards the mutual effort, right? And this is what we mean about the relationality of understanding that the lessons always build upon each other, because there's always something more to learn. So we see that what we're effectively happening right now is that it's the identification point or recognition that as we find, like, it's not just about being authentic, but it's also being mindful, right? It's authentically mindful. And that ability of being authentically mindful is one that feels like the gift that we bestow upon those around us. And I always like to point out, if you're worried, if you're worried that there's something that you're doing and you're asking yourself if it's from the space of the ego or the higher self, always reaffirm and understand a healthy manifestation is one that can be mutually shared, right? It's the observation of being able to put that force of energetic caring towards those around you that allows the context by which everything can begin. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy working through that, this is why these relationships feel like they're so healing, because these are the energies that are articulating upon something that I either see, like, this is why I see right now that there's either energy and separation that has, like, there is some, like, I feel like there is something from the past coming back for some energy and separation right now. But what's beautiful about what we see in terms of the healing journey of the energy and separation is I keep on hearing it's quality, not quantity. And when someone goes away to try to fix something, it's almost like they're trying to build more capacity for feelings, right? I keep on seeing, like, often, like, that distance, it's like the space by which we build a lot of feelings, but it doesn't necessarily change anything. And that's why I keep on seeing that if these are experiences wherein someone's trying to return and being like, aren't you glad to see me? Another person may potentially be like, what do you have to say for yourself, right? It's not enough. I keep on hearing your presence is only appreciated in the context of whether there's something that is energetically progressing, is what I keep on seeing. Like, it's not just about, like, the appearance of somebody coming back to a relationship is not enough to heal it. The context by which what one is arriving with is what is determines whether someone is energetically in the space to allow something to be healed, or if somebody's trying to return back to an unhealthy energetic cycle. Meanwhile, we see a lot of these new relationships that are forming right now built upon what? The mutual audacity. And what does the mutual audacity do? Potentially even some of these energies articulating upon the context by which that has happened in the past, or something is currently happening. And what is the clang clang of the bells that are ringing for them? You have a right to feel that way. Right? The observation of working through these journeys together, saying to one another, time does not fix things. Fixing things fixes things. You can't just effectively identify the space by which, again, I keep on seeing Saturn says, I am a guide. I'm not a repairman. I'm not here. I'm not here to fix your, like, I don't do that. Like Saturn is like, how dare you? How dare you? Right? And this is why we see that these are the energies that are working. And this is the energy that, what are they saying to each other? I promise to value your time. I promise to be energetically clear. And I even see the energy saying, I promise to articulate if there's something that you desire that I cannot bring to you, is what I keep on seeing. Like, that is what is beautiful about these relationships that are forming right now. They're promising each other honesty, even if it's not easy. While for a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union right now, final card for today's spread. Boom, there it is. I told you I would not be surprised right now if there are relationships that are coming into deeper union. I'm seeing questions. I feel like questions are being popped or proposals are being dropped, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of these energies right now, that ability of recognizing and identifying, feeling energetically fortified, right? Like, this is the energy that is articulating upon something, and I love it because they're saying to each other, I don't want to move something deeper to change it. I want to preserve what's energetically here, right? This is the energy almost saying to one another, I've never felt more certain about something in my life, because this is the energy that says to one another, through you, I am energetically healed. But what's beautiful about that, remember, these are energies that are acting as clear mirrors for each other, right? And this is what it feels like, because I see even now for masculine and feminine, these are those magician partnerships that build into the relationship of authenticity, right? And it's the energy that aspires for change, but the change that they want to bring to the relationship isn't because it feels like it's conditional. It's the gift that they want to deliver to each other, right? It is the energetic ascension point by which everything can begin, because the force of care, I keep on hearing, we never become, when we find that sense of alignment, the sky is the energetic limit, right? And I keep on hearing this energy saying, through you, all things can begin, because the energy is not feeling that desperation of having to please another, but the ability to be able to, I keep on seeing, like, finally be in the context of being able to work upon the journey of the self. While for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, that's what I meant about this energy right now potentially being more frustrating because it's working on fine-tuning things, right? It's working on fine-tuning. And I keep on hearing frustration allows us to fine-tune. So if there's something that we could be doing better, like sometimes it's a little bit of that work. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy, doing that, like working through those modalities or experiences, the ability to energetically fine-tune. I keep on seeing like it's more of the energetic continuation point and being able to articulate upon what one is hoping to do better. And again, finding, like, allowing for that perspective, like to be able to, like, I keep on hearing, like, building into that point of being able to, like, I keep on seeing, like, finding a way to be able to define and articulate something, and like I keep on hearing, like, finding that point and being able to really, like, drill down into something that allows one to be, it's like, it's interesting because it's like a comprehensive niche kind of energy is what I keep on picking up on, which is like the understanding of something that is comprehensive, because like when you drill down into it, it opens up more, is all I keep on getting. It's like, I know. So there's like, it's interesting. It's like a comprehensive niche kind of energy is what I'm getting for the energy deep within divine union. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, the world card and its reversal. This is just all the retrograde energy. I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying to you guys right now. Don't be assuming nothing. Don't be assuming anything right now. I don't want you coming to a reading and telling me I assume the worst. Because like I keep on hearing, when we assume the worst and we take action upon it, right? I keep on hearing, like, don't allow assumption to fortify direction right now. I know it's very tempting. Right? because again, I got to tell you, like this energy right now, you got like everybody's got like, you got like that little tiny short fuse that occurs when you got a bunch of planets like in Aries, makes you real snappy, right? And then something happens and you're like, ah, you know what I mean? But when we're allowing the context of being able to recognize and identify, like letting a little bit of compassion in, right? Allowing for the benefit of the benefit. I keep on hearing the benefit of the doubt is how we energetically heal, because it's the observation of being able to identify what is possible by bringing our best hope towards it. So make sure that make sure that anything that you're bringing into something right now is allowing for the hopefulness of intentionality, which is the observation of being able to articulate how to resolve something, or coming into the context of being able to do something in a better way. Because I keep on seeing that a lot of that work right now, allowing that to kind of fortify experiences, like that's what I meant about allowing the context of being able to work through frustrations and seeing the bigger picture to help ease and help you get that better sense of energetic direction. And that's happening across all of the frequencies. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site, so I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone who attended our recent class on the Devil card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, August 13th. At 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Tower card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also have access to over 9 hours worth of material. If you are a monthly subscriber, you'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we have learned or studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of readings, you will also receive a complimentary. You also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. That is access to over 15 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a one-on-one mentorship class with me where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best impact moving towards your personal tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events, as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to my new Mystic Meditation articles. I just released one yesterday that works us through how to navigate this full moon Aquarian energy most effectively. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal to utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again on Monday.